Hello, and welcome to day 28 of the Happiness Challenge. I hope that you're feeling better and better every day, regardless of your situation and circumstances, and that you're feeling a sense of ease, calm, and harmony within yourself. So, something that I wanted to talk about today was conflicting parts of ourself. There's something called internal family systems. I think I might have touched upon it before, but one of the biggest things I see with people and their unhappiness is sort of an inner conflict in themselves. They love and hate someone. They both want to do their job and not. They love their children and struggle and can't stand them. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's the conflict inside of ourselves where we are not really in harmony. Even our beliefs are not in harmony. For example, something I do with working with people and their negative beliefs with rational emotive behavior therapy is someone might say, I'm a really hard worker, but I just have no luck. And I'm not successful, even though I'm a really hard worker. But then if we break it down more, it's like, well, are you a hard worker? What is the definition? What is the definition of success? You have to break it down more so we can have these conflicting beliefs. Someone can feel they're a really healthy person and they work out a lot, but their life contradicts that. So we can have different parts of ourselves. And you could say we can have the beliefs about ourselves, our story, and then what's actually happening. You might say, well, why would you do that? Why would you have a gap there between reality and the story you're telling yourself? Well, it is because it makes us feel better. So sometimes people, I'll never forget, I had this one colleague from my PhD program years ago, my first doctorate, because I'm doing finishing my second doctorate now. But she had this image in her head she was in her 30s, but she had this image in her head of how she was when she was 16, when she was a teenager. The story of who she was, and I just remember talking to her about this, conflicted, because you can tell a story about who you are, how you look, your behavior, but then your life isn't matching that. So why do we do this? It's a type of denial when reality is or we think it's too tough to handle. We can be in denial. So our stories can be a form of denial. Like this one particular person, she had a story that she was super fit, super healthy, really a lot of friends, really happy, when those things were not true. In reality, she really needed to get her health in line. She was depressed. She didn't have that many friends. She was struggling. But, and I just bring this up as an example, the reality of identifying what was really happening meant, oh, I got to do something about it. And this particular person, she did this whole transformational thing about her life to improve it. And then actually she was a role model for some other people. And it was really cool to see. But it first took acknowledging reality of what's happening, how your story about who you are in your life does not match your actions. I always say to people, look at someone's actions. It's sort of it's their language. Someone's actions is their language. Oftentimes people use their words in a way that can be manipulative, or not even manipulative for themselves and others. They don't even know they're doing it. So when we look at the actions, it can be very informative about who we are and if the story of ourselves matches our actions. Conversely, I have some clients and friends, like people I've seen that they feel they're not very valuable. They're not attractive. They're not this, they're not that, they're not successful. They're really hard on themselves, just mean to themselves. And it doesn't match their life. They've actually done very well. So why would they have this negative story? Well, again, in this way, this type of story serves to, some people think, motivate them or protect them, keep them going, but their story isn't matching reality. So I encourage you to look at your stories, try to really think, what story do I have about myself? What story do I tell myself about myself to others? What do I think about myself? Because it actually really matters. The way you see yourself really matters. And if you're behaving in ways that are harmful to others and you're telling yourself a story that justifies it, look into that as well. So, because we feel better and better actually when the things we say about ourselves, our life is in alignment with the story we have about our life. We just feel better. It's like someone who feels like they're rich, but they're in tons of debt and they're struggling with money. Ultimately, even though it's tough, facing the truth is that alone is like half the battle. And that is a huge breakthrough. And then from there, when you face the truth and you stop telling yourself stories, you can work and climb yourself out of that pit, out of that hole. Okay. So what stories are you telling yourself that are either overly positive or overly negative? I encourage you to look because both sides of the spectrum can cause problems. We want to be in the middle. We want to be where there is truth and more in the middle. Okay. Lots of love. See you tomorrow. Bye.